other day, I cut a snot load of trees out of here so that we could get sun up on our deck. And I made a horrendous mess down here.
Well, my little tree trimming worked out real nice. As you can see, I'm sitting in the sun. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning.
A horrendous mess. There's a lot of debris here, friends. And we have a bank down there that we use and kibble and decompose down on the bank. It's full of bramble. See it? Like, it's all bramble, all right? Now I have an option. You all know that I've had a little bit of shoulder issue going on recently. Now I got a couple options I can do here. I can stand and go in there and throw it down the bank, which ergonomically is not effective for me right now. It actually doesn't make sense for me personally right now. So I'll show you what I'm gonna do.
Friends, I want us to give this young man, this 12-year-old stallion of a man, who's been handed a card that he wasn't expecting, and nor was his family. I want to give this man, Ewan, we love you so much, buddy. Thank you for sharing your life with us. And we're here, my brother. We're here. This whole channel is here with you. And we just love you. Look at your smiling face. We'll be swinging an axe soon, brother. So friends, you see that little alder tree down there at the very bottom? It's just a little deciduous tree. I'm going down there to hang a block. You wouldn't believe the mess that is there. It doesn't look amazingly big, but it is. It was a huge, well, it was a tree. It was a tree. And I haven't limbed it or kibbled it or nothing. It's just kind of laid flat there. And so I've done so much of this stuff over the years that it was like that time I was at Brian's friends, remember? And I hooked up that one. I mean, there's always 100 ways to skin the kitty cat. But I just do now, I have to work with my body. And it's easier for me to hang a block, which takes me about 13 seconds. I'm exaggerating, of course. Come back up, tie that into a running bowline, and noose it down the bank with the pickup. And it's done in one move. You know, or I sit there and rip and tear and cut and throw. You could do that, but I'm not going to.
I think you can see what's next. So now, all I done was walk down the hill, right? I'm gonna sling that brush and I'm gonna pull it down in one pull. Ten minutes of setup to save your body out. There it goes, all down there. Now I go down and I kibble. Have you ever seen kibbling, friends? I'll show you. I'll show you some kibbling. So friends, you can see it's all in a big line right there. One big pull from off the top of the shelf. That's bramble that I fell the big tree on right there. It's all bramble, everything. It's done, clean. There's a little maple there we snapped. It's continuous. This is what happens. This is all bramble, which is prickle bushes. And then we come up to the Jeep here, the back of the property, right? That sort of dump run truck, the old 1 ton. I gotta move, or pardon me, my green and white crew cab, the mystery. Don't know what I'm gonna do there. But anyways, you can see. So I'm just gonna show you. If you have not done this, then you haven't experienced being a sawman yet. This is the grunt of the sawman. Being a sawman, this is what you run into when you do a slashing contract, or you get hired on at a tree service with transmission line work or hydroline, or we call it hydroline, it's power line work, silviculture. If you haven't done this yet, don't call yourself a true sawman yet. Just wait until you do this for a few years on end, and experience what we call here on Vancouver Island as slashing. Down we go.
So friends, this is where a shorter bar, anywhere from 20 to 24, comes in very handy when you're swinging and slashing. This is where this little 346 is a dream right now, especially for me. It's light, it's got a wrap bar, and it is a screamer. I just finished filing it. It's a 346 Walkerized. Quick interjection. Wouldn't quite really be normal without it. Friends, Ripsaw got a hold of me yesterday and they sent me this picture of this pallet with still lightweight bars, 050 gauge. Oh, and another thing, which is impressive to me, not the fact that they're doing it, but the fact that they're moving on these suggestions that I'm giving them, friends. That's why we're working together, Ripsaw and I. They've got the technology and the means. And
making port deletes for the 2511.
they got a hold of this wily old vet who does all aspects of tree work, as you'll notice today. So together we're kind of developing a couple little products that are going to help you out. Dogs has been one of them on the 201, and the little, what's that, Echo 2511, which has actually been a huge noise. Go ahead, babe. My wife's making us a shake, so it's going to get loud. 2511T's coming up with dogs. I'm going to show you a quick blurb of what he's doing. These boys are moving and grooving, and they want to help you guys out. Back to the show.
So that's called slashing. And that is about the only time you will see me with a small power saw in my hand in that type of setting. And believe it or not, friends, that bar's too short for this job. We got thunder coming, windstorms and rain coming. So that is bramble. It's all bramble. And down in here is a rock wall with beautiful ferns and little trees. And it is quite nice, friends. I'll be honest, it's nice. These are all volunteers, these fir trees here and that. Okay, so I look to the future. So this is a bank that we are able to kind of utilize to get rid of. But here's the thing, if you don't kibble it, friends, if you don't kibble it down, you're leaving room for air, and it's great for little critters and that, and rats and everything like that, but it's not great for decomposing. Stumps all have to be cut flush, little stumps like little trees. They can't be cut on a 45, because what happens when the power line authorities come walking through to check on your work, if they trip and fall and gore themselves with one of those, they're coming right back to the tree service. So just listen to what I'm saying. Your sawmanship, you are judged. It's the same thing as when I say you're judged on your stump. You are judged on your stump, whether it's this big or it's 6 feet across, and they're looking at your hinge wood and your Dutchman, hopefully no sign of. Friends, I done hundreds of hours of this style of work. Miles and miles and miles of cutting our way through bramble, actually over our heads and tunneling through. That's when it's nice to have a little bit of a shorter bar, even though and only for weight, because you are doing a bit of this. You are swinging. Whereas fallen, it's down below your hips, unless you're, there are times when you got to get up there, but you can fling that bar up, rest it, be smart. But this style of cutting, this slashing, I could tell you stories, friends, that we used to get guys come, they would they'd hire on at the big green guys, they'd hire on, and they'd come out U-bow slashing with us, and we'd slash the maple, big tall maples, and we'd have wind road along the side of the road, and you'd watch guys, they'd come to work all gung-ho with their suspenders, pulling on their suspenders, and 2 days, 3 days later, they'd be beat to a pulp. That they wouldn't know how to chip, because if you chip on a chuck and duck and you throw those whippy maples, they get you in the back of the head, they rip the sides off your body, they rape your neck, they flick your heart. It's such a beautiful industry. It is. I told Hogan, I said, dude, Hogan went right from cutting trees with me to like climbing. He's put a lot of groundwork in. That's one thing he's done, a lot of groundwork. But he didn't get an opportunity to slash until I think 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years. I'm not sure, but he got into some slashing. And he told me, he says, Dad, we're slashing. And I was like, oh yeah, this is good. You understand? You're not a sawman until you've done some slashing, boys, girls.
Friends, that is not true. I'm leaving that in there because I want to emphasize the importance of all aspects of being a sawman or woman. I'm not saying you're not a saw person if you haven't done slashing. I'm just saying that this style of work, and what I'm doing today is only one aspect of it. It's a small aspect. This is not slashing. This is kibbling and kind of a little bit of slashing. I am slashing bramble. But don't be offended, please. That's why I actually interjected here, because I was watching this and I don't want to sound like I'm telling you that you're not a saw person because you haven't slashed. That's not what I mean. I just mean if you find the opportunity to go slashing, your skills on a power saw, your understanding of so many different aspects of running a power saw exemplifies quickly, and it is a wonderful experience, and it's tough work. So that's kind of what I meant. That these are just logging jargon or whatever sawman stuff we play around with and joke with one another. It was actually a joke with me and Hogan. I said, "You ain't done slashing yet. You're no power saw." Like a joke, you know what I mean? Good.
If you don't know how to slash, because when you learn to slash, your bar's flicking off, you got your chain flipping, there's chain tension, there's how you flick and your trigger response. If you rev your saw and then spin, it'll flick it off the bar. You learn to operate a power saw. Slashing, you learn so much. It is so good. If you ever get the opportunity to go work for a tree service on a saw, I didn't care what I was doing in the beginning. I did not care. As long as I was on a power saw, I was smiling. You need lots of power saws.
So you can do anything you want to do. As soon as you stop blaming your circumstances for your situation and own up to your responsibility of whether you're afraid or you're this or that. I used fear as an excitement tool. I turned my fear into an excitement instead. I literally, in my mind, said fear is no longer fear. It is excitement. That's what fear is to me now. It's excitement. I've changed it because I can. So, friends, I have a YouTube channel. What can I offer? I'm not here to take nothing. I'm here to offer things. So what are those things that Billy Ray has to offer? Love, for one thing. And the joys and the peace that comes for men. What it feels like to get your hands dirty and work humbly. And just the joy that comes there and the peace that comes from working hard physically. Whether you're in an office job or a corporate job or you wear a tie to work, that's great. But don't forget, you need to get cut once in a while and scraped up. I just believe it. I believe it to be true. So that's what I have to offer here. So if you're coming here looking for something, what's in your teacup? What are you bringing? Work hard. Be honest. And be kind to one another. And let's lift each other up. Let's lift each other up. Let's help each other obtain these things we want to obtain, because life moves so fast. So fast. I'm a slow burning stump, friends. I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I'm coming into a new time of my life, actually, to be honest. I do. I'm just telling you, I'm feeling like this thing, I'll touch on it and I'll end. These shoulders of mine have been an Achilles heel for me for my whole life. I believe I'm in deep healing, deep healing now. This has been on me now for five months. I haven't swung an axe for 5 months. And I believe that I am in a deep healing part of my life. I'm 54 years old. Spiritually and mentally, I feel really strong. And that's actually the most of it for me. Physically, I work with my body now. I don't work against it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Do all the things that the crazy YouTubers ask you to do. If you enjoyed anything or picked anything up here, had a chuckle, hit the freaking like. Subscribe. Tell your friends about old Buck and Billy Ray. And go in to the buckandbillyray.com and get yourself a freaking ball cap. Check this sucker out. I wear this sucker all the time now. I do. I love this sucker. This is a huge thing for Christine because she designed this. Oh, friends, last thing. Ripsaw. Okay, the long bar, friends. They just received, and they're going to sell fast, but I wanted to say this at the end of the video. Ripsaw. The link will be in the description. Long bars, 32s and 25s, which are boom right in there because a lot of people run them 25-inch still bars. 050 gauge, which is wonderful because you run the 050 until it spreads a bit and you just freaking throw an 058 chain in there and you're off to the races for another 6 months. It's old tricks, friends. Got a million of them. Go see Ripsaw. Tell them Buckin sent you. Click the old link. Get in there. Get yourself a 32-inch long bar or a 25 still lightweight and get on a saw. Over and out, friends. Work hard, be honest, and be kind. See you on the next one.